Hello and welcome to Double Talk. I'm Mark Steffen.
I'm Michael Mandel. The producer decided that we're far better before the show than afterwards, so we tried to give you a taste of what happens before the show. We're going to film it ahead of time. We're going to be needing some guests to come on the show soon because we're going to do it in front of a live audience. So if you consider yourself live, give us a call, and you can be on the audience. And we're going to go, and, do our pre-show routine first because we do great jokes before the show, and afterwards we're just you see it.
We don't want to do them on the air because
we're afraid that somebody will steal our jokes, and they're not copywritten.
Well,
are they?
You stole the jokes in the first place.
You stole the jokes.
I don't steal jokes.
You stole jokes. You're right. Just because the people who made up the jokes are dead, that doesn't mean that you didn't steal them.
They laughed themselves to death.
After they told the
when
joke.
They heard me telling it.
No. Oh yeah.
But sometimes we do interview people on the show, and if there's anybody out there who'd like to be on our show and be interviewed by us,
who we can stand.
I'm sorry.
Or we can't stand. Maybe it's better. Yeah. We'll avoid that, won't we?
At all costs.
It's bad enough we're on the show.
No, actually, we will have guests on, and we will interview them. And
open mic. What the heck?
To say, that could be a new experiment that we try.
It could be.
Anybody can come on our show, and we'll interview them for 5 minutes.
We're going to do the Renee Magritte thing.
Renee Magritte in the middle of my head.
Right, or me. We're going to wear derbies and do that. That's our new theme. Green apples, because we're kind of tart.
Just hold it here like
we're kind of tart. You got to put it. You got to put it way ahead, and then I'll wear a derby on it. There we go. Okay.
People have to be familiar with who Renee Magritte is.
Oh, everybody who watches this show has a large history of art background. Because
why don't you tell them
who
about
else would do that?
Who the surrealists and the Dadaists were?
We'll talk about you really have nothing to. This was the show you were going to just surprise me with whatever topic. The Dadaists started in approximately 1912 when they were going. Mm-hmm. Actually, they started during World War I because they were anti-war, and because they were anti-war, they said we're anti-art too. Tristan Tzara, who was a Dadaist writer, was in Switzerland in the Alps, and he gets out one day and he looks up at the mountains and he sees them, and he sees some fresh snow there, and he takes his cane and he writes his name in the snow and he says, "I'm calling it the Alps."
That's Dada.
That's Dada. Surrealism came afterwards.
Dada means nothing.
Right.
Dada means.
That's the theory.
But you know what? We should save this conversation for next time when we have some photographs and pictures to back us up.
Of the Alps?
No, pictures of the Dadaists that the Dada, like Magritte and Dali and
Dali was everybody knows Dali because he does such weird pictures, but he wasn't the ultimate. I don't know who the ultimate was.
We should show some of the movies that they did. The Dadaists. Ghost Before Breakfast.
The Andalusian dog. I just translated. That's like immediate translation. Chien Andalou. Andalusian dog. Now that we've lost everybody because all the art history majors. Thanks. You were going to start off with something I have no idea what it is, which is fine with me.
The city of Las Cruces puts out this visitor's guide.
That's their new logo.
Right, and Stay Sunny. They paid a lot of money for somebody to think that up.
It used to be Crossroads of something. The Crossroads.
And you can pick these up at most hotels.
Pick them up higher. Pick it up higher. Yeah, there you go.
And now, I was looking through
it,
and I noticed that they have it's just simply wrong information. Looking here under the heading of New Mexico liquor and smoking laws. Okay, it says state law prohibits anyone younger than 21 years of age from purchasing or consuming alcoholic beverages. That much is true, right?
Yes,
that is true.
That's in every state in the union.
But then it goes on to say, there is no alcohol service on election days. And that is not true.
I thought that was true.
It's not true at all.
I thought that was true.
That used to be the case years ago in New Mexico.
Are you sure?
You couldn't get served until the polls closed at 7 o'clock. They've done away with that some years back. The bars are open all day long on election day.
But they're also not open Sunday mornings, right?
They're not open Sundays until noon.
Really? That's it? That's what that's a type? You're making it seem like they gave you how many times a year is that wrong information going to occur? So that you're saying that between 7 o'clock and closing time, people have been misdirected by this piece of information, and because of that, they're not going to come to the state because they would come here on election day just so they could drink, and they could drink.
There's many people passing through town when we have elections, and if they read this and think that they can't go to a bar and get a glass of beer at lunch, why then
a glass of beer during lunch.
And they might
Have
not.
you had a glass of beer during lunch during Election Day?
Probably.
Huh?
Yeah,
No,
probably.
no.
Yeah.
Well, you like to have a glass of beer during lunch, but
doesn't?
Election Day, but you're so busy, you know, with your propagandizing and you're marching in front of things, saying down with government and up with Occupy.
Look, it also says here that bars and
Occupy.
lounges close at 2 a.m. I don't know one bar and lounge in Las Cruces that's open until 2 a.m.
Actually, they are supposed to be closed by 2 a.m.
Well, they may not stay open later than
That's
that.
because nobody here has staying power. If you stay until 2 p.m., you probably, or a.m., you will probably get
guaranteed to get
stuck for a
pulled over.
DUI because
Yeah.
you're pulling out of Hurricane Alley at 2 a.m.
Most
What
bars
else?
here close between 12 and 1 o'clock.
Luckily, I'm a temperate drinker and usually can be okay
So-
driving away.
So way to go, Chris Faber.
Oh, listen to that. Personal
You know,
slight
the
against
blame
them.
has to fall somewhere.
I know. Election day, that was the only thing. As well as young people can't drink.
Well, we have politicians on this show from time to time. We interview them, and,
Yeah, during election time.
and this is an election year. So
That's true. We have just discovered that, well, we're not quite, as we film this, into the South Carolina primary, but as of this date, it turns out that Rick Santorum got, so far, as we know, 32 more votes than Mitt Romney, who originally had 8 more votes than he did, but it seems that they also can't find the, what I heard, ballots from 2 different precincts.
Oh, it sounds like New Mexico
It's still
politics,
in the
doesn't
air.
it?
Like, who cares? You know, why don't they just share? People should share. 2 people running for a president, they should share the salary and
co-presidents,
do it.
like we do on this
Co-presidents.
show.
We do that, right? Equal time.
yeah, except
we've
you talk
done
more
that.
than I do. Everybody knows that.
Yes, but what you say is worth so much more.
Well, I condense it. I condense the same amount of information down to much smaller, more concise
You're
nuggets.
the gold to my titanium.
You're the.
In the metallic ore market.
I see.
Yes, that's
I
how it
see.
is. So I think that's an interesting thing. There are now 4, and Rick Perry, our neighbor. You know, Rick Perry is one of the reasons people from New Mexico vehemently deny being part of Texas because of Rick Perry. He did so abysmal in his primary discussions, he could be on this show.
Well, he's kind of like George Bush's mini-me.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, people thought, how could anybody get dumber than George Bush?
Yeah, Rick Perry pulled it off. In fact, he may be getting out of the race.
He did get out of the race. If you went to the gym today and looked at the TV, he got out.
Okay.
He went behind the Newt.
Newt.
Gingrich.
Newt? What is Newt short for? Is that Newton?
It's short for Newton.
What's Mitt short for?
Mitten? Yes, and in fact,
Mitten Romney.
Letterman said on his show that same joke, and he said his kid wrote it, that joke. Well, if Newt is for Newton, then Mitt must be for Mitten.
Of course.
And Rick for Rick Perry must be Ricken.
Rickon, I reckon.
Yes, or
Now-
Ricketts.
Speaking of,
What are we speaking of? Oh, so
speaking of trying to
we'll
stretch
see.
this
We'll
show
see
out.
what we've already done it every show yet. We got this far. We're not trying to stretch the show out. We have important things to talk about, and I think the primary is the most important thing, really nationally, other than the economy. The market has been up recently on little trickles after having gone down recently. And that's all because it's sunny in New Mexico. Whenever it's sunny in New Mexico, everybody in the country is happy. Isn't that true?
Today, yes, it's been wonderful weather.
That's a major market indicator, what the weather is in New Mexico. Every time it's gray and gloomy, I find that the stock market is down. Or it maybe just feels that way.
Well, yeah, but it's only gray and gloomy here.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, that New Mexico is the bellwether of the market. Because
I see.
everybody, we emanate. You know our flag? That's what it is. It's that circle with the emanations of stock karma going out to the rest of the country.
Rays
Yes,
on the
sun.
sun symbol.
Yes, and we're the ones who give the country its stock indicators.
I did not know that.
Yes, I would play the stock market based on our weather.
Well, now, what if there's earthquakes afoot? What is that?
Well, you've seen the picture of stock market things. They're always zigzaggy, so there's always earthquakes. I think what is good to remember is that last year when we had the big freeze, stock market wasn't doing very good.
Well, now, it's possible that we could have an earthquake here, because researchers have determined that the Earth's crust in New Mexico is stretching. It's stretching.
It's stretching.
like a pizza's
perfect. Like, yes, 1 inch every 10 years in the whole United States,
crust.
right?
Well, we're sitting on a couple of fault lines right here in the Mesilla Valley.
Well, don't look at me. It's not my fault.
You have the Rio Grande Rift and you have the Robledo Rift.
Really?
Yes.
Get them together, you got quite a good song.
Yes, and in fact, if you take a hike up to the trackways in the Robledo Mountains, you will come to the part where the Rio Grande Rift ends and the Robledo Rift begins, and you can clearly see that demarcation.
And how do you see that?
Well,
Those
you
little
have to pay
trackways, aren't those little arthropods or whatever
you
those
see it on
things
the
are?
side of a hill. It's cut away.
Really, just cut up. That's so you
can
see
see
a
it.
cut and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting
I'll be
thing.
happy to show it to you one day.
Not that many people are that aware, but something like this has been happening forever. The plates that we are on a hot mantle of gooey stuff. So the land that we think is land and very stable is in a constant sense of flux. In fact, it's quite a philosophical thing that your life is built on the most tenuous of elements, and you should be thankful that your house hasn't fallen into a deep chasm, into the depths of hell, which is probably what the mantle looks like.
Well, the crust is moving very slowly here, unlike places like California, where it tends to move very quickly and joltingly. Here, it's very incrementally. So you don't even notice.
You used to live in California. Do you feel different walking here? Like a little more nervous when you're in California? Back here, you go, well, it's only,
I went through many earthquakes in California, several large ones, and one in particular.
And you're none the worse. Okay, maybe you are. I don't know what you would have been like otherwise.
And, actually, I was in my car. I was just pulling out of my driveway, and my car was doing this. I thought I had a flat tire. I actually stopped to get out to look at my tire, and then I realized, no, we're in an earthquake. It's true.
Well, I have a story about the guy who wrote Mama, I'm Feeling So Sad, or Arthur Coppett. He was my playwriting teacher.
Poor Dad, oh Dad, poor Dad. Mama's hung in the closet and I'm feeling so sad.
He also wrote Indians. Anyway, he was in a motel and they got drunk on mezcal. Arthur Coppett, don't come back and yell at me. And they're drinking mezcal, and you know how that is, and I'm sure. And they came back to the room, and they were sleeping. He wakes up in the middle of the night because they're all thirsty for mezcal, and he looks out of the window. He sees the swimming pool is splashing like this. He's thinking, boy, am I drunk, and he goes back to bed. Turns out it was an earthquake.
Yeah.
So that's earthquakes. And I've experienced a few tremors when I was in Chile last year.
Oh, yes. Well, you were there shortly after the big one.
Yeah, I didn't feel that, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
There's more sound. There's sound going on. So those of you who are really paranoid, close your windows tightly. That way you won't hear the sound of an earthquake.
The sound of buildings collapsing?
Yeah, you don't want to hear that, just so. Well, another guy who does a show here says he buys earthquake insurance. Apparently, it's $75 a year. So those of you who are paranoid.
Could be worth it.
Well, that's what insurance is all about. Could be.
That's right. Well,
you don't know.
That's why they call it insurance.
I bought nuclear bomb insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if there's a nuclear bomb, I will have my ashes.
I see. Well, that's why.
Nowhere.
That's why you're uranium to my plutonium. Now, the Sons of the American Revolution actually exist in Las Cruces.
Thank goodness we're off that non-topic,
Yes.
which I don't even know what that topic is. I like the idea of the earth stretching. It's sort of like,
It's like yoga.
it's like your gut.
The earth
It's
does.
just going. There's that guy. He doesn't have a gut, does he?
He's the president of the Sons of the American Revolution. Now, who are these sons, and what is their revolution all about?
They're the brothers of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Notice he's moving towards the left.
He's marching.
They're usually moving towards the right.
I see. Well,
Our right, your left. I don't know.
are they right wing?
I would guess so because I understand the Daughters of the American Revolution, which I think is bigger.
They have those here too.
Daughters of the American Revolution are people who want to. We're not sure. We're making this up, but the whole show's made up anyway. Daughters of the American Revolution want to bring life back and keep it the way it was in 1776 through 1778. Those 2 or 3 years
nothing but
were very
Americans
good.
are here. White Americans. Is that what
White
they want?
Americans, yes.
I see.
And I guess the Sons are even more sunnier and more adamant.
Well, I wonder. Well, listen.
So there's a meeting.
They are having a meeting today at noon. today, Saturday, at noon o'clock at the Sunset
Noon o'clock.
Grill. So if you want to find out what the Sons of the American Revolution are all about.
So don't forget, there's a meeting at sunset at the Noon Grill.
No, but that's close enough.
Close enough?
Sunset Grill
Noon.
at 12 noon today. I guess it's a luncheon meeting
You know what?
in the banquet room.
I would think Sons of American Revolution do a lot of martinis. So that would be a fun thing.
I don't know.
I would think
Why
so.
don't we go and check it
Martinis.
out and we can report back?
We should do that. Let's go take a break. Do you want to take a break now?
Let's take a break, and uranium and plutonium will be back after these vital words.
Hello, Lost Cruises. My name is Pastor Joe Nathan Haywood, and I have a brand new show, and it's called Serving It Up with Joe Nathan. We're going to talk about a lot of things in Lost Cruises. A lot of great guests, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So check us out. Serving It Up with Joe Nathan.
Welcome to La Buena Vida Women's Club, located away from the crowds but close to home. Come in throughout the day for Jazzercise, the world's dance fitness leader for nearly 40 years. Treat yourself to a relaxing massage, or unwind in the lounge area or outside on the balcony with friends. La Buena Vida Women's Club, located and designed with women in mind. For information, call Diane at 650-9721.
Celebrate, celebrate, Fiesta Motors.
Come and see us today and discover why our service is second to none. In business for over 17 years, we have the right car for you. When you buy a vehicle from Fiesta Motors, we do everything possible to ensure your satisfaction. Located at the corner of El Paseo and Main. See you there.
Celebrate, Fiesta Motors, where buying a car is always a celebration.
Suntan Interiors, make yourself a beautiful home.
The most beautiful homes in Las Cruces have one thing in common. It's Don Tan Interiors, the local experts in granite countertops and fine kitchen cabinetry. When it comes to home improvement, think Don Tan Interiors.
Suntan Interiors, make yourself a beautiful home.
And we're back. You know, this weekend.
It's like we never left.
This weekend at the Pan American Center, you've got the World Wrestling
E
people.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
World Wrestling Enterprises, my guess.
I guess. And they're going to be here at the Pan Am Center Sunday night.
And it's going to be better. John, what's his name? John Cena?
It's the Raw.
Senna.
The Raw World
We know
Tour.
a lot about it. I always thought WWE was like the thing that you play in front of your TV.
We? Oh, no.
Oh, it's not.
That's WII.
And somebody else canceled in the tour, some other wrestling group. And
So those people are going to be here too.
and if you want tickets, call up the
Go to the Pan Am Center.
Pan Am Center.
Yeah, that's tomorrow night, Sunday night at the Pan Am Center. Wrestling.
I think it's early. In
If
the,
you like theater, that's the
Yeah.
one place to see it.
That's real theater because we know it's not real wrestling, don't we?
Well, it's real performance.
It's real performance.
performance art.
Yes,
I
it's
think.
exciting. Let's go. We'll see you guys there.
Hey, if you see us there, come up and say hello. We'd love
Yeah,
to
that
talk
we're
to you.
going to be wrestling him.
I'd love to wrestle
We're
that
going to
guy.
wrestle that guy. That's the only guy we have a chance of almost beating. Only if we use our teeth, though, and folding chairs.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah, a lot of folding chairs.
We got to keep moving. I think we're moving the show ahead because
All right.
you guys have to get information. You're upset again that rates are going to rise.
Well, the gas rates are going up, not gasoline, natural gas rates. They want to raise them, of course. They always want to raise them.
There's plenty of it here.
And there's a ratepayer advisory committee
yeah.
that exists here in town, and they're meeting Monday night from 7 to 9 over in Mesilla Park
Oh,
at
really?
the Mesilla Park Community Center.
Uh-huh.
and they're
Why
gonna-
are they doing that?
Well, that's a good place.
Why
to,
Mesilla Park?
They could probably get the hall for cheap or nothing.
That's pretty good because, of course, they want the rates to be cut down. They're pretty cheap.
Yeah, and so they're going to be discussing the gas rate increases that are proposed.
Which is ridiculous because they're mining more and more. You know, they do mine natural gas in a way. I mean, the
Gas
same
comes out of the ground.
Yes, so it's belongs to everybody. They just supply it.
Well, it's the gas company here that supplies it that wants to raise the rates.
We're already against it. Any raising of rates, we're against.
We are.
As well as electricity rates. So we do need a rate commission.
We're against cable TV rates going up too. We
Yes.
want more people to be able to get cable TV. If the rates go up, that might not happen.
We're voting for making them lower
And, you know,
paying everybody who works in the companies. Michael Huerta's idea: cut their salaries by half.
Absolutely.
Cut everybody's salaries by half. You know, if you did that all around the country, even the millionaires, we'd still be in the same fix we're in now.
Yeah.
Because if everybody's cut the same amount, everything else gets cut. It's all relative.
Well, you know, there's a lot of gas on this show, that's for sure. There's no shortage of it here at Channel 98.
No. See, so that's why we think that it should be cheaper.
Yeah.
Yours is.
And
If you kept your mouth closed.
so now,
it'd be better.
Also today,
We don't want to see people walking back and
there's
forth.
things going on today that
there is.
we should know about.
Like more
Well,
pet
there's
adoptions.
Pet adoptions going on today.
There's a cute fluffy bunny just hopping through here right
And
now.
the folks at home can't see that, so never mind. Look at that.
There
Isn't
it
that a
is.
cute picture there?
Oh yeah, they can see all that static that's coming. Once again,
That's
get
a dog loving a cat or a cat
I don't think so. That's two
molesting
cats.
a dog. No,
What-
it's a dog and a cat.
No, I think it's two
It's not
cats.
a cat. Cats don't have tails like that.
Sure they do.
No, they
we're,
don't.
We're looking at the pictures, you know.
You can see the dog's head. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's a dog and a cat having love.
Speaking of looking at yourself in the TV, Adrienne Alvarez is rather pregnant.
oh,
She's on Channel 3.
Oh,
She's
my
on
goodness.
CBS. She's a riot. She's wearing pregnancy clothes.
Yeah.
It's
So
very funny.
anyway, the pet adoptions today are going
know
on downtown at the Farmers and Ranch Market.
And where else?
Also going on at the Environmental Center on the downtown mall.
You better indicate the Southwest Environmental
The
Center
Southwest
so they don't go to
Environmental
the wrong
Center.
environmental
That's
center.
true. There's so many of them in
Yes.
town. So you can go there and adopt a dog or a cat.
Where else?
You can also go to the Tractor Supply Company.
There's a Tractor Supply Company here?
Yes, that's a new one. It's
What's
brand
that
new.
on the corner of Valley and
Picacho. Yeah.
And you were there recently and you said
I just
no
went in there.
tractors.
They don't have one tractor in there.
I was going to
But-
pick up a few.
I don't know why they call it that.
Because
That's
people
just the
use
name
tractors.
Of the company.
When you buy a tractor, they say paper or plastic?
I don't think
You
so.
don't know.
But they do have clothing on sale there, and they have hardware. They have gardening stuff. They have
Gardening
animal
stuff.
food. We got some bird seed there. They have dog food and horse chow and rabbit
It didn't
chow.
cost chicken feed, did it?
They have chicken feed too.
Chicken feed. So they're competing with those other mega food suppliers and all the pet stores too.
They are.
So
Anyway, you can go and adopt a dog and a cat there today.
you bought that shirt there,
until 3
didn't you?
o'clock. No, I did not
Oh,
buy
okay.
the shirt. I did buy a pair of pants there and a hoodie.
well, you're not wearing any pants now, so I guess you didn't put them on yet.
Well, I wish you hadn't said that, Michael. They can't. The folks at home can't see. And
Well, they don't know how warm it is
And
here.
I'm not
It's
gonna
just-
stand up.
It's just warm here, and wearing pants is an inconvenience. I'm wearing an entire jacket. I actually, did the tie.
What are you so dressed up for?
It just managed to fit. I guess my
No,
neck must
no,
be
no.
getting skinnier.
I never see you dressed like a mortician.
Because I went to a funeral.
Oh.
Today I went to a funeral. Somebody, speaking of funerals, somebody who was a figure in the poetry world died this past week.
Here locally, you mean?
Ruben Abeta.
Ruben Abate, I saw that in the paper today.
Yes.
I didn't realize he was that old. How old was he?
He was only 77. How
77.
old? That's not old
He didn't
anymore.
look like, he didn't look that old to me, and I never thought he was even in his 70s.
He was a nice guy.
And I used to see him at the poetry readings myself. I attend those occasionally.
Yes. I have you down as marked here, when
I haven't been
take
there
attendance.
for a while, but
was there.
when do you hold those poetry readings?
It's the third Tuesday every month at Palacios. And in fact, Ruben Abeta is the gentleman who suggested going to Palacios Bar for the readings. And everybody said, what are you crazy? At Palacios? That place had a reputation. People thought it was a reputation like the Welcome Inn. However, Palacios
true.
is rather bourgeois and is a very pleasant place for a poetry reading, and it's also a nice bar.
Well, now, you don't have the readings in the bar itself, do you?
It's in the back. It's a place where they do their big parties on weekends.
Oh, the back room.
Yes, the back room. And we have a great time there. And we
you
like
can-
the bar.
You can drink a beer, read a poem, hear
It's
a poem.
possibly one of the least expensive bars in Las Cruces. Possibly.
I see.
I haven't really done the investigation.
No, they don't serve food there, though, do they?
Free popcorn.
Oh, no, they don't serve. But at 10 Pin Alley,
Yes,
they
Ten Pin
serve
Alley
food.
is a place
There's
for
a
fun.
restaurant, and there's 2 bars in there. Now, recently, the environmental
Protection
department-
Agency?
No, the
or
environmental
whoever is the people who keep it
department.
from being poisoned?
People call it the health department, but it's really the environmental department. Downgraded the restaurant,
Yeah.
which means
For what?
they have to put a sticker on the door that says we have been downgraded until they get their act together. which they did.
I guess people have been putting their fingers into things other than bowling balls.
There were unsafe sanitary practices going on there, and not storing
But they're
things in the right
back.
place.
They're back on track, right? They've been approved.
They've been upgraded now by the health department.
Virtually every restaurant in Las Cruces has failed this.
That's true.
And then they come back, 2 or 3 days later, and they turn their refrigerator on again.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or they take the Clorox out of the refrigerator.
Or they shoot all the rats finally.
So,
But I'm not saying this is what happened to Ten Pin Alley.
no, anyway, they're back. They're
back.
upgraded now. So, it's still up to you whether
We
you
should
want to
go
risk
there.
eating there or
It's
not.
a fun place.
The food's not really that bad, frankly. They make enchiladas and hamburgers.
Do you think somebody should not pass the environmental inspection if they use lard in their cooking?
No,
You probably
they just
do.
won't get me to go there to eat. That's all.
I think lard is very tasty.
I'm off the swine.
Speaking of lard, did we do the chicharron thing?
Yes.
We did?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't do them. Now that we're talking about lard, throw the chicharron picture up because when is that?
Yes, today.
That's today, right now.
It's the second annual Chicharron Cook-Off. Today it's at the Beverly Hills Hall. Y'all know where that is.
Which one's the chicharron?
Those
Wow, I
are,
wonder, chicharron is what? Pigskin, right?
It's a big
It's where
pigskin.
people can't afford bacon.
now that's a big giant pig skin right there. That's a giant chicharron.
That's, if you don't eat it as a chicharron, people have to turn it into footballs.
And it's a cook-off. So if you want to go there and show your chicharron cooking skills, today's the time to do it.
There's a skill in frying
There must be.
pig skin.
Well, imagine how big a fryer you would have to have.
For that pig? Well, you cut it up into pinwheels like that.
Pinwheel size. That's you can buy those.
Órale. Say that in Spanish.
Órale.
Oh, you say it much better than I do.
Down.
I can't even say what is. So, school is back in session. One of your favorite times, the NMSU school.
gotta love it.
You hate when Las Cruces Public School is in session because there's too many kids to run over.
many
and
school zones.
And you can't choose which kid to run over. But when NMSU is there, all the kids are driving there in their cars. So there's even more traffic. You get so used to like a month and a half of not having that much traffic, you forget how bad traffic can be.
Well, plus you have all these pedestrians, students trying to cross University Avenue.
And then they're all reading their books because they're very studious.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
books are very expensive, so they got to use them. Otherwise, there it goes.
They really are. That's something that's wrong with college today. The textbooks are way overpriced.
It is now called Barnes & Noble
Bookstore.
State University, BNSN. Oh, we're on to this.
We're almost out of time.
I
Tonight
guess.
at midnight, the midnight movie is The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, starring John Travolta. That's a film from the 70s, right before he
Discomania?
before he became a big giant movie star. And with that,
Yes,
we have to say goodbye.
We're going to leave.
Thanks for joining us right here on Double Talk. We'll see you next week.
We're going disco dancing.
What do you mean we, white man?
We're gone.